Hello everyone, George here, and we're back in my implementation of Five Nights at Freddy inside of Unity with the HTC Vive and blah, 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 blah. Episode, oh god, what are we on now? Early hundreds, right? Anyway, in the last few episodes, we moved over to the OpenVR setup. We created our Vive input script, and now we're ready to start working with that and making it, functional within all of the stuff we programmed in the last 100 videos or so. So the first thing we do need, though, is to bring in the Vive input script into our game. So why don't we go ahead and do that? Let's go to game object, create empty, and call this Vive input. And just attach our Vive input script. There we are. Now, even without the Vive input script, things would have worked just fine. So for instance, let's bring this over here. So we got VR set up. Let's go ahead and hit run. Now at this point, even, what's my display set to here? Unable to assign reference exception, the power graphic has not been assigned. You probably need to assign something, blah, 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 blah. Failed expression, is matrix valid? Oh, that's fun, OpenVR stuff. Let's see here, go into here, text.text is equal to power.charge integer.toString plus my, percentage. So text.text, what's the issue here? So that's text right there. Public text mesh text. So you're saying I don't have a text mesh, that's the problem. Okay, so let's go into the power graphic, which it looks like it's this. Let's turn the game off. And power graphic text. And there's a text mesh right there with text of power. So we're just gonna, I can't remember, we're just gonna assume that's what it is. Although truthfully, I should be able to grab the child on this and do all this stuff without setting it up, which I will probably do in the future. Clear, oh, assertion failed, matrix is invalid. Trying to see what's going on with my headset here, because you can see we got this extra wide, weird field of view going on, and that's definitely not our display. So let's stop there. I'm gonna save this really quick. I'm gonna go to, do we have anything still in here from other junk that we don't want? OpenVR API.bundle x86 and OpenVR. I don't know why that's in here. What I'm gonna do is actually delete all of that. I shouldn't need any of that for what I'm doing. And we're gonna see if that fixes it. So what do we got? We got that number up there, the power indicator thing. I can't see anything in my scene. It doesn't help at all. We still got a lot of assertion failures. So let's keep trying to fix stuff. So what else is the problem? What else have I not deleted from this project that needs to be deleted? Editor, animatronic editor. No, we need that. Level, that's fine. Lights out, that's fine, that's fine. Main menu. Nope. Materials, Pirate Cove, prefabs, scenes. What are the prefabs? Camera system. So this is the old camera system with a bunch of scripts missing. So if I go to the new camera system, which is this one, and there's problems with it. Great. Okay, so let's start cleaning that up. So let's remove this script, whatever it happens to be. I am going to apply the changes here back to the prefab. The camera system is good. So now we have the head underneath the camera system. So really camera system, I'm going to call this body right there. So that's the body, this is the head, then we have the left and the right controller. Let's just go through here and see if any scripts should not be there. So we have the camera, clear flags, solid color. I'm gonna make that black for the background. Culling mask, nothing. Projection, should be perspective. This is, man, everything's screwed up on this thing. Field of view, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm actually going to remove this component. GUI layer depends on it. We're using a GUI layer. All right, well, let's remove that and let's remove the camera. And I'm gonna add just a basic camera back to this thing because whatever Steam VR did, there we go. We actually have something in our scene view now. Whatever Steam VR did, it completely jacked up everything that we were dealing with. So why not get rid of it? Okay, so there's our camera view and I have no idea why. Free aspect, can we use an aspect ratio that does not suck? Aspect ratio, let's do, oh God, what is it? 16 by 9, that's what we want, right? Yeah, 16 by 9. Label 16 by 9, And let's do 16 and 9. There we go. Okay. There's our aspect ratio. Wow, that's tiny. Is it really doing that by like pixel? Can I edit that? Fixed resolution, aspect ratio, 16 by 9, please. And okay, much better. And I'm gonna hit run. I've got the Vive sitting on top of my head, and we can see, whoa, look at that. Woo! We've got some scene size problems going on here, but there's the body. If I hit run, I end up kind of outside my area, which can be kind of expected. But, God, what do I need to do? Rotate this thing 180 degrees around? There we go. So that's facing the other way, and at least that's working okay. We do have some errors over here with this invalid matrix stuff. For some reason, that seems to pop up a lot with OpenVR. I typically ignore it, so I'm going to ignore it at the moment. I'm going to turn that off now. So, like I said, we had to clean out. OpenVR makes it very easy. Basically, you press run and the thing works. The problem is that by having that Steam VR stuff in there, it kind of perverted a lot of the things going on with our script, so we kind of had to clean up some things. So, clear that out, that's fine. And next up are the controllers themselves. So controller left and controller right have a model under them, as well as these different graphical thingamabobs. So for right now, let's just stick a generic model for the hands. See, before it was the Vive controllers, and since I'm not using Steam VR and I'd have to kind of pull that out and fix things, let's just go with game object, 3D, and let's do a capsule. That's huge. Let's do, yeah, there's definitely going to be a scale problem. If that's 1 meter and this is my game world, everything inside of here is going to need to be scaled up, probably by a factor of 10 is what I'm guessing. So if we go over to, what is it, level, and go back here, we're already up at a factor of 100. What happens if I do this? Whoa! That's huge, but I wonder if we start playing with things a little bit. So that's still huge. Now what if it's 1? Is this going to be the right size? Okay, so a factor of 1 between 10 didn't work. So there's obviously some sort of a conversion problem that I'm not thinking about, and I need to figure that out. What did I do in Maya? What were my units over there? And then what are my conversion units coming into here all about? So I need to come up with a size that I want to respect. So this is a capsule. Its height is 2 meters, which makes sense. And its radius is 0.5 meters. Actually, you know what? Well, 0.5 meters is 1.5 feet, roughly. So that gives you a meter width. And that's about the width of a person. In which case, yeah, everything in the scene needs to be scaled up by some amount. And really, that's something I'd much rather do in Maya. So let's make a note to ourselves here. And Maya scale needs to be adjusted. Probably, let's take a look really quick. File, recent, don't save. So let's see, this is our grid. And unfortunately, I didn't work on a grid when I did this project, which is stupid. And, oh gosh, what is this? 64 grid line every 8? What the heck is this crap? Ugh. Grid line every what? 1 meter? Sure. And grid lines, oh, I'm sorry. Length and width, let's do 50 meters. Grid lines every 1 meter. And I want to do a subdivision of 4. There we go. That gives me a good idea. So let's take a look at the size of a door right now and try to get something correct. So this door is what? Come on. 1, 2, 3, 4, almost 5, 4.5 of these units. That means it's only, what, half? Each of these is a meter. 8 of these are inside of these, right? 1, 2, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks are in a meter. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is only 3 feet wide. A door is normally, it's a good question. What is a door normally? Do I have a tape measure? I'm going to use something. Just using my foot as a reference, a door is closer to 4 feet than it is 3 feet in size. So what was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, plus a little bit. I'm probably going to want to scale everything up ever so slightly so that this door is what? 1, 2, 3, 4, probably right about there. So what I should do is go to modify display, and where the hell is it? Window outliner, grab that, and I'm going to grab everything, group it, and just call this geometry. Open that up. I'm going to take geometry and scale that up by a factor of, I don't know, let's look at that door again and watch what happens. So that's a meter. So what did I say, 4 feet? So that's going to be a little bit past there. So 1.1. Whoops, numlock, please be on. There we go, 1.1, or not. 1.1, please. Jeez, what the hell? 1.1, no. 0.1, please, thank you. Okay, so we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, roughly. We're going to go with that scale up, I think. That probably will work better for us. I'm going to go to geometry, modify, freeze the transform on that scale, and I hope that percolates down. Save this out, and then now I'm just going to fast forward and re-export all these assets back out. Here's hoping, so I didn't change any transforms, so I shouldn't have screwed anything up. Anyway, send to Unity and go through all of these. So let's go to party room, yes. File, send to Unity, selection, hallway left. Okay, save the scene. Let's jump back into Unity and see what actually happens. Come into here, reload everything. And actually take a look at the geometry and see, so they're still all at 0. I'm going to actually see what happens if I nuke these and bring them back in. This is what I hate about the transform stuff, is sometimes it doesn't work the way you think. And I might have to take everything out of that group and then deal with it. So for instance, let's actually do that really quick in Maya and see what happens. So if I take the geometry group itself, I go to edit, ungroup. Come on, edit, ungroup. Maybe you won't let me. So I'm going to take that and actually move all this stuff out of that group. Now there's the geometry group and there's all the other groups, and they look okay. I'm not sure why that's a problem. Coming back over here now, let's do a clear. Take a look at these again. Let's go back to auto and scale up by 100 or whatever. Oh, there we go. Now stuff is starting to screw up. Okay, so let's go into backstage to security room. Let's get rid of them and bring them all back in. Bathroom, hallway, kitchen, party room, pirate cove, security room, and supply closet. Okay. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm not seeing any size change. So actually, I'm going to go back and over here really quick. Delete that. And I'm just going to make sure that that size change persisted. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's actually change the size a little bit more. I think I want it to be a little bit bigger. So let's do another 1.1 on top of that. There we are. Yeah, we'll go with that. Save, geometry, modify Modify, freeze the transforms. I am going to take all of this out of this group and put it right there. And then I am going to delete geometry. And I'm going to double check these ones. And I am going to freeze their transforms again just to make sure that nothing bad is going on. And we'll export again. All right, jumping back into Unity, things got scrambled up a bit because all the transforms got messed up. So let's grab this junk again and bring it on back in. One, let's see, that's good, that's good, that's good, that's correct. Just making sure nothing's really wrong here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What was that? Party room, pirate cove, security room, and supply closet. There we are. Now the room is definitely a little bit bigger for that capsule, which is roughly the size of a person. So I'm feeling a lot better with the scale. Now let's get on to some of the more important things, like scaling that down to the size of a hand, for instance. So make that a lot smaller, somewhere around that, I'd suppose. Maybe, let's see, that's the Z-axis. So that's going to be how it's, actually, I don't want it to be on the Z-axis, do I? I want it to be rotated 90 degrees within itself. So let's do game object, create empty, stick the capsule inside of the game object, and just call this temp hand model. That can stay, and let's just call this hand. So what I want is that the hand itself is going to be rotated 90 degrees inside of here, so that its butt, this part here, the round part, actually becomes a Z direction. So let's do 90 or negative 90, it doesn't matter. There we go. Now the temp hand becomes my, my new Vive controller model. And we might want to adjust the transforms on that a little bit, maybe like flatten it out so it's a bit more hand-like. Now we'll go back under the camera manager, grab my temp hand. Let's do temp hand left, and we need to do temp hand right. Control D. Right. Great. Controller left. There's the model. Delete that. Put that one in there. And controller right. Take the temp model right. Stick that under there. Delete the model. Look at this object here. Now, what do I have on this? I have Vive controller attached to it and something called nothing selected. So let's remove that. Let's go to controller left and also remove that nothing selected component. Save it for a second. Now I have a rigid body on this. I have a sphere collider on this. This should probably now be a capsule collider, but we're just going to forget about that for a second. So that's going to work. That's going to work. Now we need to couple this to the output. That is, we need these hands to move with whatever it's doing. So I'm going to take a quick look at Vive controller really quick. And so we have on trigger enter, on trigger exit. The class does almost nothing. It looks like it gets some on button down stuff, which doesn't matter either at this point. Tracked object doesn't matter either, so we can ignore that. So let's just create a script for these that's going to basically have them move along with whatever the transform stuff we get from the actual controllers are. So under scripts, we can do scripts. I'm just going to actually create a new folder now because scripts is getting a little heavy. Let's just call this Vive controllers, controller motion, something like that. Double click, right click, create, C# script. And I guess the easiest thing to do is to poll or query the location of it and then use that information as the local location of the object. To do that, we're going to need to work with our input here, or that is grabbing that information. And right now we don't actually have a way of doing that. We need to look up the documentation really quick. So it's not under the input portion. We need to go under the device section for this. So let's see, VR input. We need to go under VR, if I remember correctly. Virtual reality. And let's look under reference, and we have the input tracking. so we can get the local position of a particular object. So get local position, and we specify the VR node to do this. So let's make our scripts. So let's call this, so I did a bunch of stuff that wasn't necessary, and I'm cutting it out right now. I cut it out of the video so you didn't have to actually see it. But it turns out that basically I created this conversion method that doesn't really be required at all, because I was dealing with an enumeration to begin with. And all I need to do is actually declare a protected, basically, unityengine.vr.vr node is an enumeration, and it can contain all the different devices that are available, which you see over here. So what I've done here is I actually serialize the field so the user can then check whichever one they want to work with over here, and then whatever one they've chosen now becomes the actual value we're going to use inside of here. All right, so now I'm going to put device and device in there. And now that I've done that, I can set these things equal to this.transform.local position. You know, this.transform.local position is equal to that, and this.transform local rotation is equal to that. There we are. Okay, so that's set up. Let's come back in over here, and no errors, no issues. That's working correctly. This needs the Vive device tracker on it. We're going to choose a right hand for you and a left hand for you. Great, and hit run. Okay, I can't see anything right now. Let's get this thing on my head, and let's see here. Move this over here and zoom out in the scene so I can kind of see what the heck's going on. There's my head right there. Yeah, why can't I see anything? Is it because, that I'm facing the wrong way apparently. Okay, so let's have it look at that direction. And let's grab my controllers, turn them on. Oh boy, something happened. Failed expression that's fine. But anyway, that's working. So I've got my controllers and my two controllers somewhere, anywhere. Are you showing up anywhere in the virtual world? Oh geez, don't destroy on load got called because I died. Okay, let's try that again. Hopefully before I die. Oh, the GUI stuff's on. I gotta turn that off. Actually, okay. Where are my controllers? There they are. So there's the two capsules right here, but they're flipped around. So I'm going to need to fix that. But I can move them as you would expect without any problems. So let's go ahead and turn that off and fix a few things really fast. So first of all, let's go into the, let's see, scripts, Vive, input, and get rid of this /*/. Great. And the next thing we're going to do is take a look at our setup for our camera and see what the heck is going on here. So we've got that, and we've got our head. Now, if that's the body, it's got a rotation of 180 degrees, which is not good. So we're going to zero that out. We're going to go down here. So that's where it's supposed to be. That's where it's supposed to be. The controllers are now correct as well. So in a perfect world, everything should be aligned up properly. So let's see how perfect this world actually is. What is this? 13 seconds light till light show. Okay, I must have been testing something a long time ago. Anyway, there's that. Here are my controllers. So great. They were working just fine. All the stuff's on top of them. No problems. So that's that. So we've pretty much gone ahead and brought back in the functionality that we had before in terms of being able to track our headset as well as the controllers, and tested out a few different things and got it working inside of here. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got a little bit more insight into the VR node stuff and the VR tracking stuff inside of OpenVR. And I'll see you next time. So long. Goodbye.